we got some pre-game analysis for the next weekend's games, the big rivalry weekend, brother. We got Michigan versus the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Nervous.
Brother's side of things, because he's the Michigan guy. And we got the Iron Bowl, Alabama versus Auburn, because I'm the Alabama guy. Okay? So we're going to do a little bit of analysis here, break down both games, bring them both to you here,
And
give you our opinions.
I want to break in here, brother, with some breaking news.
Break in, brother. Break in.
Ohio State's in trouble, everybody.
Break in.
Well, I had to just pause for effect, really. Ohio State's in trouble.
Yeah,
Just as we were in trouble today. Ohio State's in trouble.
Currently, we are watching the number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes, 10-0 versus
Lose to Maryland.
Maryland Terrapins, 6-4. Maryland is on top, 13-10 right now at Maryland. Home
With a
game for
minute
Maryland.
left in the second quarter.
Minute 11 left in the second quarter. So first half's almost over. Maryland is on top, and Ohio State don't look too good.
Georgia's only up 9-0 on Kentucky at halftime.
It's that Will Levis, brother.
No, God.
Will Levis, superstar.
Oh, God.
But this is not a Will Levis podcast.
No, this is not a Will Levis podcast.
This is a pregame for Michigan, Ohio State, and Alabama Auburn podcast.
So who do we want to?
Let's go with you, brother. You had the big game of the day today. You had the last second win against Illinois.
Well, as everybody knows, this is the game of games, right?
The game of games.
This is the game of games. This is the rivalry of all rivalries.
It is called the
sports.
game.
It is called the game.
Time to play the game!
As I've found.
I was feeling really good going into this game about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't know why you were feeling so good.
Is he out of his fucking mind?
Well, then Nebraska happened, and then today happened. And I have got to say, brother, I'm quite nervous. And what makes me even more nervous...
To quote Jerry Seinfeld, frankly, I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned.
But frankly, I'm a little concerned.
To say the least. And what really has me now is, brother, Blake Corum is dinged up. We don't know the extent of his injury, but it's a knee issue, obviously.
Looks bad. He did walk off on his own power into the tunnel, but he needed help off the field.
Let's just be honest, brother. It don't look good.
No, who could be anything. Not to speculate, but who knows? The torn ACL, MCL, PCL, LCL, all CLs. Who knows? We don't know.
So if you go down there thinking though that you're going to ride this game on JJ McCarthy's right arm and his legs, you ain't going to win this game.
No,
I know as a Michigan fan, I'm telling you right now, we ain't going to win this
I got
game.
a question for you since I noticed he was absent in this game. I don't know if you know the extent of why he missed this game. Where is Donovan Edwards?
He has been dinged up a couple times throughout the year. I don't know what the extent of this injury is, and my phone's updating right now, but I feel like...
His phone's updating right now. He's got the iPhone software update going right now.
Yeah.
It is, too. I'm looking at it. Look at this shit. This guy gets on the podcast and decides... I'm gonna update my software right now.
Move this man!
I wanted to
we're going
wait,
on to
though.
the
I wanted to
podcast.
be like out in the wilderness. You know, like you kind of sometimes you just want to go out.
Hey, Smith boys do wing things, all right?
Sometimes you just want to go out without any like phone,
Smith boys know one speed.
nothing.
Smith boys know one
And
speed.
you just want to know that it's just you.
Go.
You know,
That's
It's
our
just-
speed.
Yeah, it's just you.
We don't need the outline or any of that. You know,
Doesn't matter.
we just get on here and we just
kind of what you think, what you feel.
Just
What's your
spit some
opinion?
fire.
What's your opinion? My opinion is I think we go down there with just riding this game on JJ's right arm. We have no shot.
Well, I see. That's where
Regardless
I differ.
of Donovan Edwards.
No, see, I differ with you there because I think Donovan Edwards.
He's
could
not a
be-
grinder like Corum.
No,
is.
see, I differ
No
with
way.
you there. Brother thinks Donovan Edwards is some type of retard blind man, and I don't get
I
it
don't
because
think
Donovan
he's
Edwards
a
is a
blind
playmaker. Donovan Edwards is a playmaker. They lined him up at wide receiver, and he plays like a wide receiver. They line him up at running back, and he plays like a running back. Donovan Edwards is a star,
But they
and
got to
if he's
use
healthy-
him all the time.
I know, but they've used him. They've used him as a star in the past, all over the field in the offensive game plan. He's taken over games in the past. And
Yeah,
won
against
games
Maryland
for,
last year.
He's
he
won
did.
games for you single-handedly.
Yeah, he's
And
had some games.
I can see him if he's healthy and he's playing against Ohio State. I can see him as being a healthy alternative to Blake Corum and helping you win that game.
I don't know, man.
Now,
I don't know.
now
we need
Blake
Corum.
Corum is out and Donovan Edwards is out, and you're relying on who is it?
CJ Stokes.
CJ Stokes. He's a freshman. You're relying on
no
him,
shot.
and you're relying on JJ McCarthy, who I saw today play. I mean, in full
Frankly,
disclosure,
I'm a little concerned.
yeah, I thought today against Illinois, some of the throws I saw him make late in that game where he missed wide open guys for touchdowns.
Atrocious.
He don't look good.
Atrocious.
And he don't look like a starting quarterback
Putrid.
on University of Michigan to me. And to me, all this quarterback controversy at the beginning of the season between him and Cade McNamara, I don't see much of a drop off between J.J. McCarthy and Cade McNamara. They look like honestly kind of the same quarterback.
I told
to me.
brother, I said, and I'm telling you,
If anything, going back in hindsight, Cade McNamara is better than J.J. McCarthy.
I told brother, I said, Cade McNamara makes that throw to Loveland in the end zone. I mean, that was a touchdown. McNamara makes that throw.
Who's Loveland? Is that number 18?
Yeah, that was number 18.
The guy was wide open.
Yeah,
I pointed that out, and I told brother, I said, you got to rewind that. That some bitch wide open.
Yeah.
He checked down and his running back gash or cash.
But
or
I
he dropped the ball.
I have to say though, okay, that's going pretty hard on Michigan right now, and that do so over the last couple of games. If you're looking at it with
objectively,
but kind of like you're really focusing on the negative stuff.
I mean, there
but
wasn't much
on the flip side of the coin, though, you fast forward to next week. Ohio State game is just now went to halftime. It's 13-10 Maryland. Now, Ohio State has struggled a couple different times. They struggled not last week. It was the week before against Penn State. They struggled a little bit. I think Ohio State has some vulnerabilities to them, and I think that Michigan is as poor as they have looked offensively, and thank God for their defense, but. As poor as their offense has looked, I think that Ohio State kind of doesn't really give you that, oh man, they're this juggernaut. But at the same time, if you're a Michigan fan, you got to look at this and say, JJ concerns you. The quarterback position concerns you when it comes to throwing the football. I mean, it has to. You don't have a game. And then Andrew Anthony dropping the touchdown, like that concerns you too. It's like, dude,
that was one of the few good passes that JJ made.
That was a prime pass. Dropped it perfectly, and then Anthony drops the pass.
My main concern would be...
He was hurt by drops a few times. He was hurt by some drops.
My main concern would be, as a Michigan fan going into that game, is Ohio State can put up points, and they can score a lot. I mean, C.J. Stroud's a great quarterback. They got great receivers and a great running game. Their offense can be very potent at times and score a ton of points. And if you're getting into a track meet with Ohio State, you're in trouble.
That's dangerous.
Especially with JJ
for
at quarterback.
Michigan, that's dangerous.
Because Michigan ain't a track meet kind of team. Michigan is a first half. First half is always a slow, grinding game where they kind of feel you out and kind of just beat you up. And then the second half, they wait for you to make enough mistakes to where they capitalize and beat you by 2 or 3 scores.
But Michigan's offensive line, I don't know. I think there's been some injuries along the way. Oluwatimi does not look like the same player that he did earlier. He's the center. He got beat a couple times. Here's they're showing the replays right now.
That's where Blake Corum got hurt.
Yeah.
Innocent play. Very innocent.
Yeah, very innocent play. But it just like he hyperextended it. I don't know. I mean, he just took a shot right on the kneecap. He took a shot
right on the patella, kind of.
Yeah, right.
He's walking off on his own pressure. He's walking off under his own power into the tunnel. So, I mean, that's a good sign. But
Illinois' little number 2 Blake Corum 2.0 is pretty good too.
Chase Brown guy.
Yeah, but he's not as fast. He's not as jukey.
What was with Blake Corum on that one play? They hit that screen pass to him at the goal line. I don't know. And he broke it for like 40 yards, and then he just ran out of bounds.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean, it looked like he could have took that for a touchdown, but I don't know if he ran out of gas or what. But he just ran out of bounds, and like nobody seemed to even say anything about it on the broadcast.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was like, what the hell just happened? That was a touchdown. But I don't know, brother. You want to let's keep going in Ohio State next week.
I think more that I watch Ohio State, especially today and the last couple weeks, they're not as good as they're cracked up to be either. And Michigan is not as good as they're cracked up to be, and neither is Ohio State. So I think there's a little bit of a overhyped to this game a little bit because I really don't think either team is quite as good, or they're coming into this game anyway at their full potential. How about that?
I would say
they're not coming in on their clicking on all cylinders. Neither team is.
No.
Let's call
and
it what
could
it
be,
is.
the weather's really changed in the last week.
It's gotten cold.
I mean, we went from it was
70,
50 or 60 degrees last week to literally now it's 20.
There's 2 inches of snow on
The
ground.
next weekend
3
later,
inches of snow
in a
on
matter of 6 days from the last game, it's dropped 40 degrees and there's snow on the ground. So that's a factor, I think, where it kind of comes in unexpectedly and players were accustomed to playing in a normal temperature environment, and now all of a sudden it's boom, now we're playing.
Yeah, it got cold real quick.
Yeah, now we're playing in 20-degree weather and a little bit of snow on the ground. But another part of it to me is I would say, I mean, I know you say both teams aren't clicking on all cylinders and both teams aren't looking good, but I would say, based off what I've seen all year, Ohio State's had a lot of ups and downs where they've looked really good at times and then really kind of not so good at times.
Yeah.
They've been more inconsistent this.
Yeah.
Michigan has been more consistent. They've been more kind of just riding that line.
Yeah.
And this week, today, I think was the first game where we saw holy shit, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
So they could have got caught maybe looking ahead to Ohio State, where maybe they were kind of,
You had brought that up earlier.
They were kind of maybe game planning for Ohio State, trying to maybe play Illinois like they were Ohio State, and then Illinois just came in to play spoiler and really ruined Michigan's season. But it worked out in their favor. They ended up getting the W at the end. So I think the weather does play a big part of it, though, because I mean, nobody wants. We just went out to get food and driving down the car. I got to drive an Audi for the first time. That thing, what was that? An Audi what?
A5.
Brother got an Audi A5 out in the garage there, and that thing was nice. I got to drive that thing.
Rita hit a deer last weekend, and so
she can't drive.
I don't like it.
Well, no, we had to get the
Like most
Blazer.
women.
Yeah, the Blazer had to go to the body shop. Obviously,
She's not Asian, though.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None? I turn now. Good luck, everybody else.
So we had to get a rental car. No comment. So we had to get a rental car, and they gave us an Audi A5. It's covered under insurance, so whatever.
We got to drive that, and it was nice.
Yeah, it's
The kids think his kids think it's a racing car.
I don't know how you're gonna find that video to edit that in.
I probably won't, but yeah. So let's stay on track here. Michigan, Ohio State, and then we'll go to
okay. So
Alabama,
what
Auburn,
do we want to get into prediction already?
Yeah, we might as well. This is the pregame show.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know how to call this game because Ohio State looks like garbage here, and Michigan look like garbage. I mean, literally.
You want to do scenarios then? Maybe. What if Ohio State loses to Maryland today?
I don't think that. See, how?
What if Ohio State loses to Maryland?
I
and
don't
then
think
beats,
there's any way.
And then
There's
beats
any way.
Michigan next week.
There's absolutely as confident as you were that Michigan was going to beat Illinois. I am as confident.
I was.
That
I told
Ohio
brother
State's going to beat Maryland.
Brother, during this Michigan Illinois game, was up and throwing shit at the TV, and yelling out the window, and hooting and hollering and screaming, and I'm just laying back. I'm laying back, calm and cool, looking at the phone, looking at my phone on the scores and seeing Alabama's up 28-0 or whatever, and I'm like, I'm calm and cool. It's seeing they're beating in Austin Peay, and I'm looking at brother, and I'm like, brother, there ain't no way, brother, that Michigan's losing this game to Illinois. Ain't no way.
As a testament, just watch the Elon Musk podcast because we were live streaming that in the third quarter, and I was going nuts. So
yeah, not a good time for brother. But I know that feeling all too well. But your team came out on top, and I've known that feeling twice this year, and we lost 2 of them. We lost to Tennessee and LSU.
But I can't think of another time though where like Michigan, Ohio State were coming into this game, and it's like neither one of them is really playing, to their full potential. Neither one of them is really clicking on all cylinders.
I think both
this
teams
is one of those. This is one of those games where it's like I don't know. Is somebody going to step up? I still feel like Michigan has that ability. I still feel like JJ has that ability. But like every week that goes by, I have less and less confidence of that because I just feel like he is so restrained and so regressed. And I just think that I really think he's done. I almost think he's missing guys wide open.
Well, he's going to be your quarterback next year.
Oh man, I just don't know. It makes me really
and you got these
really uncomfortable.
Just to go off sidebar to the Lions here. When we go into like Bleacher Report community with the Lions, you got idiots in there saying they want JJ McCarthy in the draft next year. It's like What are you watching? You don't want Bryce Young this year, but you want J.J. McCarthy next year? Eat my ass.
All right, so if we're going to go into predictions, I'm sorry, but my heart wants to go with Michigan, obviously. But my brain is like, I don't know, man. I am going to go 24-21 Michigan.
Okay. I would say last year was a year where Michigan was not undefeated. They had lost to Michigan State, but they were going into Ohio State, and it seemed like Michigan fans were kind of dejected, thinking Ohio State was going to win last year. But I went.
I don't know. I went into it confident. I felt like this is our year.
Yeah, I went into it kind of thinking like I don't know what all this defeatist attitude is.
I don't
like.
think we
I feel like there's a good
felt
chance.
it.
I feel like there's a good chance Michigan is going to beat Ohio State this year, and they did. They stomped them really.
We manhandled. I mean, I don't know if we manhandled them, but we beat them soundly. We beat them.
It was pretty evident that Michigan came to play.
I definitely thought we beat them.
And I kind of got the same feeling this year. I just don't. I look at this Ohio State team and I just kind of think, man, like I look at C.J. Stroud sometimes and I'm like, is this guy really like a number 1 overall or number 2 overall pick?
He's supposed to be, brother.
And I'm just like, man, this guy has literally just an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah,
at receiver and
Marvin
running
Harrison
back.
Jr. and Smith and Jigba. Dude.
Smith and Jigba's missed a lot of games,
a lot of time,
but they got other receivers.
They got other
and Travion Henderson at running back. I mean, their offensive line. This guy's got an embarrassment of riches, and I expected he's just going to light the world on fire this year, and he just kind of hasn't. He's kind of just been a guy, and it's been kind of disappointing, really, if you're an Ohio State guy, because you probably expected every game to just be 40-7 blowouts, and it just hasn't been that way. So I see this game, and I think Michigan's defense has been so good all year long. I can see Michigan keeping. I mean, if Maryland is keeping Ohio State in check today, I can see Michigan doing it even better, to be honest. Michigan's defense is one of the best in the country.
Yeah, they get to the ball real good, and their their defensive line is really good. Mason Graham, the true freshman, number 55, is really good.
I feel like they do better in man coverage than in zone coverage.
Yeah,
too.
they do.
When they man up on guys, I feel like they get more physical and they do better. But when they drop back into like zones, I feel like they get picked apart underneath a little bit.
They do, because they play
which
really far
trouble.
back.
Which could be trouble.
So,
but I
what was your prediction?
This is a tough one to predict. I want to go with brother.
Pick your pick. And, pick what you think, brother.
And go with my heart to go with brother in Michigan. But I think being in Columbus this year,
it's tough.
It is tough. I think Ohio State they're still undefeated. I think they're pissed off about the loss they took to Michigan last year. I think that's some bulletin board material going into this game.
Too bad.
And I hate to say it to you, brother, but I think Ohio State pulls this one out next weekend.
We'll see.
And I'm going to say, I'll say 21-17.
21-17.
21-17.
I said 24-21 Michigan.
21-17.
All right.
I reckon you want to do Alabama. We got to do too much.
You want to do a separate video for Alabama Auburn, or do you want to just tag it into this one?
Let's do a separate video.
Yeah.
Because we're at Hoochie Mama territory.
Yeah, Hoochie Mama territory.
It'd be easier
to
get things done. So we're going to do Alabama here. And then Smith Boys out.